Hi guys, you're welcome to my QuickBooks training classes. In this session, we want to treat how to record transactions you had with a subcontractor. So we have sometime we run out of staff and we hire a subcontractor. So how do we go about? For example, if you are the type that into salon and you hire people to pay to work for you, there's difference between you having an employee and having a subcontractor. An employee works under you, under your payroll, whereas a subcontractor is an independent body that you hire because of professionalism to assist you in carrying out an assignment. So the first thing you have to do is to create a vendor. You are going to create that subcontractor as a vendor. So I'm going to head on to vendor center here, click on vendor center. Then from vendor center, I'll click on new vendor. So I'm going to add just one vendor. Let's say the vendor company or is an individual name. Let's say is Salifo. Okay, now I just want to create the vendor single, so I'm going to hit save. Okay, so I have the vendor now. The next thing you need to do is the services that you offer. You have to create it as an item in QuickBooks, either services or goods, whichever of the two. You have to create them as an item. That is how QuickBooks will recognize that transaction. You'll be able to pull it out when you are creating an invoice or a bill. So I'm going to head to list. We have item list. Okay, so you can see I don't have any, is as blank. So I'm going to click on this item here and new, or go ahead and Control N. Okay, now from this side you see I'm going to select service. Now when you look at service, say use for services you charge for or purchase, like specialized labor. Definitely that is what you need. That is why you need a subcontractor for, or and professional, most especially specialized labor. Okay, now if you look at this place, very very important, this service is used in assemblies or is performed by a subcontractor or a partner. So I'm going to enable this feature because I want to relate it to a subcontractor, just as you can see here, a subcontractor. Okay, now in the purchase information, this would be let me just say depends on whichever transaction you guys are into. So let me just say contractual agreement or contract, software installation, software installation. Okay, so then how much am I going to pay? I can leave it blank or include an amount. So let me say I charge for the subcontractor will charge me for this installation for 10,000. Okay, then what expense account? Now is not an employee, is a subcontractor, so is a cost of the service. Cost of service is like a direct cost. So I'm going to go ahead and select cost of service. So it's going to be cost of goods sold. So if I don't have any here, so I'll just go ahead and create a new one, but I'll select cost of goods sold, not just an expenses, to arrive at the gross. Okay, so I'm going to select cost of goods sold, then I'll put subcontractor cost, depending on whichever name you want to make use of. Okay, subcontractor cost. Okay, so I'll save and close. If you have a preferred vendor, if you don't have, you just leave blank as is. Now, very important, whenever you are receiving money for this particular service, this particular subcontractor service, okay, let me go ahead and hit here, subcontractor. Then you can, it better just include the name of the transaction, the project that you think you are carrying out. Okay, subcontractor fee. Let me just leave it as subcontractor. Okay, so I'm going to select an income account. Now you see we have sales and shipping. We are not selling, neither is it a shipping or an delivery income. So I'm going to select new, so just put an income, subcontractor income. I'll just leave it as income since it's already showing as an income account type. Okay, save and close. Now I can include the amount. Let me just say 15. I can leave it blank. I can still leave it blank. Okay, now I'm going ahead and say and okay, click on OK. Now I have that. Now the next one is the customer. So I'm going to hit on customer center. I want to create a customer too. So the similar way, I'll click on new, click on this, then new customer. I'm just going to use just a name. So let me use George Christ mode. Okay, that is just what I need for now. So click on OK. Now I have the supplier, I have the customer, I have the subcontractor of course, which is the supplier for services, then the customer, then I have the subcontracting services, the item itself. Okay, so I can go ahead, either I'll go to vendor here and enter bill. Now I'm entering bill because I'm carrying out this transaction without paying the subcontractor for now, so I'll enter bill. But if I'm paying the subcontractor right away, I'll just go to banking and write check. You understand? So whichever, I will still need to write check. So but before you can write check, you need to create a bank account. So let me go to list, chart of account, another. So I'm going to create bank. Now we don't have any bank here, so I'm going to create new account, new, then I'll select bank, then continue. Then from here include the name of the bank. Let's say FCMB. Okay, so just have it that way, and then save and close. Okay, now I have a bank account now, so this time around I can go ahead and start with creating a bill. So I'm going to enter bill. So I'll select entering the bill. Now this subcontractor, which is Yara Salifu, has offered this service of installing software on behalf of our company. We entered a contract because we are short of staff and we needed to meet up with time, so we need extra hands. So we look for professionals that will assist us to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select here Salifu. Now over here you see we have expense tab and we have item tab. So I want to select the item. Remember, I created an item tab. But if I don't want to go with item, if I want to go with expense, for instance, I'm going to select the subcontractor cost, which is this. Yeah. So but if I want to select item, I'm going to select this subcontractor, which is already connected to the subcontractor cost that we have here. You understand? Okay, so whichever of the two, we can actually use either item or expenses. Okay, so I'm going to select subcontractor. Now you see the cost, so I can still adjust. As okay, it's no longer 10,000. Let's say it's 11,000. So they are just going to ask if I want to change it to the current price. I'll just leave it as no. Okay, so I just want to show us that we can actually adjust the price even when we've set the price from creating the item initially. So now we have that. So Now mind you, this job is because I'm actually paying Salifu this 11,000 because I'm offering a service to a customer. So I don't want to forget. So I want to actually connect this bill that I'm owing Salifu to the customer that we are carrying out this service for. So I'm gonna go ahead and select George Christ mode. Now I will leave it at billable, so that whenever I want to create an invoice for George, it should include this particular cost of this transaction. Now mind you, remember here is 11,000. So but if I select billable as 11,000, it means they are going to bill when I'm creating an invoice for George Christ mode. It is 11,000 that will come out. You understand? So I don't want to make use of 11,000. I want to charge George an amount that is above 11,000. So I'm not going to select billable. Now customer here, selecting George here is to be able to link this same transaction to George. That is why I'm selecting George. But I don't want it to be billable, because if I select billable, they are going to bring out 11,000. But I want to charge George like 15,000 or above. So it would be better for me to leave the billable like that. You understand? Then select it. I can select George Christ mode, or I also leave this option blank. So the bottom line is I'm actually owing Salifu for this particular service. So but because of connection that happened, let me just select George. Okay, then I'll select the terms due on receipt, so that it will be today's date. Okay, it is a reference number and like. So I'll just go ahead and save and close. Now before we go ahead, I want us to see the report. So now if I'll click on report here, I'll go to company and financial, then profit and loss. You see now that we've actually paid a subcontractor 11,000. Yeah, now I can decide to show this column by customer. You see now the customer is George, so you see I filter it here by customer. Then you see it's George, that this particular transaction is on behalf of George, which is 11,000. So with this, if I had not selected George while creating that bill, while entering that bill with Salifu, it's not going to show me anything here, because I did not connect any customer to the. So it's very, very important we do that, so that we can keep track of who we are supposed to. Because I'm not I select billable, it would have been better. I don't have to go through all these, you understand? So but I don't want to bill George 11,000. I want to bill him more than that amount. Okay, so we see now we have just this transaction and there is no income, and we have a net loss of 11,000. Okay, now similarly we'll go to company and financial. They will select balance sheet standard. You see also from here we only have a net income of 11,000. Okay, now I want to receive this transaction, this payment from George. So I'm going to go ahead and click on customer from here, then I create invoice, since I'm not receiving the payment instantly. But if I'm receiving the payment instantly, it's better I'll select sales receipt. I'm going to select sales receipt instead of invoice. But I want us to see how this transaction connects with each other, from the credit sales or credit purchase to receiving payment and paying for the services that was rendered to us. Okay, so I'm going to select George Christ mode. Okay, now you see this is the first invoice, so I can just leave it at 1. Okay, now I'm going to select the item, which is subcontractor. Okay, now you see it is showing as 15,000. This is what I want. I want to see 15,000 naira, or I can also adjust the value. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and save and close. So this is the amount. I say, okay, let me say it's no longer 15, let's say it's 16,000, because of the additional 1,000, if you understand. Okay, so I have it like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and save and close. Now remember, this is an invoice, but we are actually we've not received this payment from George, but we are using Accra. You can see here it is Accra, but if you click on cash now, you see that you don't have anything. So you can use both Accra basis and cash. Now we're going for Accra because that is the best method to follow. It will, because of the matching concept, it has to match the revenue to the expenses. Now you see we have a net income of 5,000. Fine. Now I can still show this column. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's okay. This is balance sheet. Okay, now I'll go to click on open windows, then go to profit and loss and refresh. I don't want to see this again, so just refresh. Okay, now refresh. Now you can see the payment, the income is from George, and the subcontractor is cost is 11,000. Now if you look at balance sheet, you see that balance sheet is showing us that is an account receivable 16,000, which is very, very correct. So it's telling us that we are we still have an entitlement with this particular customer. So if I click on it, I'll see now the George here and 16,000, which is fine. Okay, while over here account payable, it means we've not paid Yaya Salifu, the subcontractor that we hired. Okay, now I want to now go to the cash basis. Now let's go ahead and make this payment. No, let's go ahead and receive this payment and pay to Yaya Salifu, because that's the agreement. So but if the agreement says otherwise, we follow the other. It can still go. We can still pay Salifu without even receiving the payment from George. Is still okay. So I want us to see these things from the perspective of we having like all these people that do hair salon, or people that do one or two services that you needed somebody to work for you, but is that as a partner or as a subcontractor? Partner, not either as a partner or subcontractor. Okay, fine, or as an assembly. So now I want to receive the payment from Salifu. So I'm going to go ahead to customer. I can do all this from this flow chart. I can receive payment here, or I click on this and what is it again? Okay, receive payment. That is it. Okay, so I'm gonna select receive payment. Okay, now I'm receiving payment to, who am I receiving from? So I'm gonna select George, of course. Then I can include the amount here as 16,000 as a round figure, the total amount. As I can also decide to receive part payments. It can still be, let's say 14,000, depend on the payment. Okay, 14,000 depend on the payment. Now you see that it's leaving this. There are two options here. Is that we're leaving this 2,000 as an underpayment, or write off the extra amount. Okay, I just want to show us that. So I'm going to go ahead and 16,000, so don't leave anything unturned. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save save and close. This same date today, okay, 28th of July. Now I will also check our report again. Now you see that profit and loss, nothing will affect our profit and loss. You can see there's nothing that will affect it. I'm going to refresh now. There's nothing that was going to affect that because is already recorded in Accra basis. But what if I select cash basis? Now you are going to see that we've received 16,000, you see, which is very, very correct because it's an cash. But you can see now that the 11,000, which is here as the cost, is not reflected here because it is not on cash basis. So let's go ahead and make payment to. Now the best way for you to do that, I'm not going to select banking and write check. Rather, I'm going to select vendor and pay bill. If you enter bill, the right way to do that is to pay bill instead of writing check. So let me go home. But I'm going to let me show you that so that you see why I don't want to do that. Okay, now I want to write check. Oh, now the payment, I did not change the setting. Now it's sitting down on undeposited funds, so I have to record it I have to deposit to the bank. Added bin, I change from here, from preference, I change this to, let's say, payments here. I uncheck this. It's going to select the bank directly. We're going to select the bank and make the payments to the bank while receiving, but now I did not select that. So is either while receiving payment, you'll be given the option to select the bank you are receiving the payment to. Added bin, I've changed that setting that I just did now. I would have selected the bank while receiving payment. So now let me just go ahead and go and record this deposit. So I'm gonna hit on this, okay, then click on OK. So FCMB, fine, okay, then save and close. Now it is reflecting in our balance sheet. Let me go back to report, then company and financial, and balance sheet. Now you see that we have is now FCMB, no longer account receivable or undeposited fund. So it's now in FCMB. So now I can go ahead and make payment to, I did not deposit this to FCMB. I might not be able to make payments from, I can still make payment from the bank, but this 16,000 is not, will not be reflected in the FCMB. Okay, now let's go ahead and pay Salifo. So I told us that once you enter bill, you follow this chart and pay bill. Now if you want to write check, let me just go ahead, pay bill. Now I'll select this as the bill I want to pay from. You can see now the balance now is 5,000, which is the profit that we have. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay selected bills, pay, then done. So now let's check our report now. Go to profit and loss, this, okay, nothing changes here, it still remains as it is. But if you go to cash, now you see it is now the same, because cash have exchanged an accrual basis, cash basis. This is available in QuickBooks. Okay, now when you go to balance sheet and click on open windows, select balance sheet. Now you see we don't have it as we now have the 5,000. So there is no account receivable or account payable. So this is how you record transaction with a subcontractor, and how to keep track of the payment and the debt and amount that is owed. Hope you guys understand and enjoy this video. If you like this video, please click on the like button, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so that you get notified whenever I make new videos. See you guys in my next class, and have a wonderful day. Bye.